Well, hello there, and a very warm welcome to Love Audio's YouTube channel. My name is Paul Webber. Great to have you along this evening, this afternoon, this morning. Wherever in the world you're watching this from, do let me know in the comments, especially if you're new here, and whatever time of day it is, wherever you are. Now, what is Love Audio production all about? It's a safe, fun, friendly, and hopefully entertaining and informative platform where you can learn the basics in audio production. So if you guys are on board with that, let's get going, shall we? Now, as you can see, I've come fresh from the Oscars ceremony. Only kidding. There won't be any smacking going on. I can promise you that. But wow, I've just watched the video of when Will Smith went on stage and smacked Chris Rock across the face for dissing his wife, dissing Will Smith's wife, Jaden Pinkett Smith. And you know, she's, with all due respect to the lady, she's been going through some illness, and Chris Rock made this kind of G.I. Jane joke on stage, and it was just, you know, I found it grossly offensive. And you know, okay, so along the lines of other ceremonies that you may have watched in the past, you think, was that really necessary? You know, and if he'd done his research, if Chris Rock had done his research about what Jaden has gone through, then maybe he would have not made that comment, and then maybe Will Smith had no need to get up out of his chair and smack Chris across the face. But you know what? I guess it made for great television, and it's all around the world. Everybody's talking about it. But you know, it doesn't really portray a great image, and it's not really the done thing. If you know, you've got a global audience, and a lot of the audiences watching are going to be youngsters. They don't want to see, you know, some grown man smack another grown man across the face on live television. Yeah, you know, Rich Vibes saying poor taste still doesn't warrant violence. Yeah, absolutely, poor taste. And like I say, if he'd done a bit of research and found out more about her, and about the condition that she's got, it's not a nice condition. It's alopecia, which is, you know, losing parts of the hair. It doesn't fall out uniformly. It comes out in patches and things like that, depending on the condition. And it's not a nice condition. You know, former sales manager of mine had the same condition, and it's not a nice thing. And the last thing you want is to be made fun of on a national television show, or global television show. You know, it's just wrong in my eyes. But there we go. It's done now. We'll see what the fallout of that is going to be. Yeah, he got up and apologized and was in tears and all that kind of stuff, you know, but is it going to make any difference? Who knows? John Venturini, good evening to you. Made me grow even more distant from the Oscars, an awards show that I've been growing quite distant from. Yeah, Rich Vibes quoting the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He got in one little fight and Jaden got scared. You're moving with your auntie and uncle to Bel-Air. Yeah, wouldn't mind, would you? Wouldn't mind moving to Bel-Air. But not from that one little fight. It's probably not the first. It certainly won't be the last altercation that he has. It's just, you know, wrong place, wrong time. Wrong place, wrong time. Anyway, on to tonight's topic, and I posted a thumbnail earlier, audio questions, and if you have any, by the way, if you're struggling with any audio issues that you may have, then by all means drop them in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them as we go along. The reason for the vagueness of the topic tonight is because I've been at a funeral today, hence the jacket and shirt and trousers. I've not had a chance to do anything really by being out for most of the day today. So, you know, my sincere apologies if you were hoping for anything a little more in depth. Ina's on. Ina's in Denmark. Hello to Ina. Hi, Paul is the message there. Thank you very much indeed for joining, Ina. Hope you're well. If you have any audio issues, by the way, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them as we go along. Nice to see you using the emojis again. They're back on track, which is good. vMix have updated, now on vMix 25.0.0.29. That's the version that I'm using right now anyway. So that's good. It means that emojis come on the screen now instead of just disappearing or having like a white outline, which is cool. You'll excuse me as well. I've just cooked and I didn't have a chance to stop the cooking process. So I thought we'd do a kind of Oscars themed show. So I'm having a meal, sat down at my table at the Oscars, at the awards ceremony. I'm not going to give a speech, and I'm certainly not going to smack anybody in the face. But yeah, if you guys have got any questions, please do drop them in the comments, and we'll do our best to answer them as we go along. All right? Good. How have you been today, by the way? How have you been? What have you guys been up to? Again, do let me know. I had a voiceover to do earlier on, and I'll read it out to you. It's this script here for V2 Radio in Sussex. John Venturini says, sore. Very sore. Oh, he's been running. Yeah, good man. Is that for charity, John? If so, of course, do let us know what charity that is. We'll get Rich to type it into the comment. In fact, if you send Rich the link, he'll drop it in the comments for you. Yeah, so I had a voiceover to do this morning. Did that before I left for the funeral, to be fair, and then recorded my Zest Liverpool show as well. So the story goes like this. The script is like this. It's for a kind of head-to-head business contest on the radio that they do. So the voiceover goes like this. Fancy getting your business on the radio? Do your work colleagues like a quiz? Battle of the Businesses is the quiz that sees two local businesses go head-to-head across a working week. Try and answer 10 general knowledge questions in 60 seconds. Get the highest score across the week, and you and your colleagues win free pizza. And if you don't have a radio in your workplace, we can help. Get registered to play by filling out the form at v2radio.co.uk. Battle of the Businesses with St Winifred's Residential Home, Littlehampton, helping you to help yourself. And then there's like an alternative tag as well, because they are recruiting currently. So, Battle of the Businesses with St Winifred's Residential Home, Littlehampton, helping you to help yourself. Recruiting now. So they'll run that in rotation and that kind of thing on the radio station, and then the sponsor will get get that kind of exposure, which is great. So that was nice to do this morning. I have a couple of stations that I do kind of retention work for. So it's like I submit an invoice once a month for a certain fee, and then for that fee, it could be one script, it could be 10 scripts, could be none at all. So it's a great way of then getting my voice on their station, and I used to work for that particular station as well, or at least the Incarnate station before that, which is cool. Danny Davis, good evening to you as well. Thank you for joining. It's the Oscars ceremony tonight, hence the suited and booted look. I've only got one overhead light on, so it's a little dark. Let me just turn the ISO up a touch so you can see there. You can see it's a pinstripe suit. It's a bit like I felt like a bit like a solicitor. John Venturini, half marathon. Kerry Greenway's half marathon to support Fit and Able Productions, a non-profit fitness group supporting community and family fitness in the Research Triangle in NC. NC being, John, you'll have to remind me. Is it supposed to be NYC? Not NC. I can't remember. North Carolina, of course. Well done. Brilliant. NC, North Carolina. Well done, Rich. Excellent. Thanks, John. That's brilliant. And yeah, I hope you did really well. And obviously, drinking on the job. Yeah, I've got a Coors Light because I'm having my dinner, which I'm just kind of munching through. I'm sat at the Oscars table, listening to the acceptance speeches and all that kind of stuff. Before you join, Danny, we're talking about the incident, the altercation between Will Smith and Chris Rock on last night's Oscars. No doubt you've seen that by now. Yeah, a lot of people talking about it. Just not we think it's not good form at all. no excuse for violence. Comedy, great. Yeah, you see, Rich Vibes is also having a dig at my bald head by saying that Paul's going to be in G.I. Jane 2. Thanks, Rich. And I thought you were supposed to be supportive. Danny says it's all we've been talking about. Yeah, absolutely. John says 254.19. Not bad for my first ever half marathon. Certainly not the longest I have ever done. Not the longest run I've ever done. Wow, okay. That's cool. Yeah, congratulations, John. That's brilliant. Will you let us know how you do with regards to, I don't know if you're able to disclose what kind of funds you raised, but, please let us know what the overall figure will be from yourself and others that took part in it. That'll be really good. Keep us updated. I'm having a very simple tea tonight because I've just got in from this funeral and I didn't want to kind of, elaborate and start cooking and everything else and eat late. So I'm kind of, doing this. Danny says, back to our morning meetings Wednesday. I have no idea what that means, but I'd assume it's to do with your radio shows. So yeah, if you have any audio issues, then drop them in the comments. Do my best to answer them as we go through. Nobody's submitted anything just yet, so I'm assuming that everybody's tickety-boo and everything's running smoothly at your place, huh? That's pretty good. Yeah! And we've got to give that a... Danny says, I looked at some mic covers. That's the mic muffs like this. This one was branded, by the way, and came from Phone Conversions. But I washed it in the washing machine and all the letters dropped off. Very embarrassed about that. So do not do that. If you get some branded, with the radio station name on it, it's difficult for you, Danny, because you've got like half a dozen stations that you do stuff for. So, I don't know what you're going to do about that. Because they're not cheap. They are not cheap. The way it is. So yeah, have some designs but unable to share on here. Yeah, that's fine. Just drop me a comment in Messenger, Danny, later on. It says my audio stream's current bitrate bracket 0 is lower than the recommended bitrate. Oh, please. I know for a fact that my audio is not 0. So, don't be ridiculous. I don't know why YouTube does that. Why does YouTube do that? I know perfectly well I've got audio coming through because I can see it on my vMix production, right? So if I bring that over to that screen and show you desktop, or even that one, sent, brilliant. That's my vMix setup right there. Okay, so you can see that very clearly. I know it's echoing because it's like, yeah, there you go. Okay. So what you see on screen right now is a desktop capture on the right-hand side of the screen, and the pip on the left, which we haven't used, which we aren't going to use. So if I go back to, that, for instance, okay, that's me looking here right now, right? I've also got my NDI wired up, so you can see the back shot here like that. But that's, that's exactly what it is. On. Put that back over there. Do that. Do that. So yeah, this is the kind of rear shot, if you will. So this is my. I'm sat down, by the way, for a change because I was trying to eat my dinner. Sent on Messenger. Right. Thanks, Danny. Brilliant. Yeah. So this is the. Sorry about the mess, by the way. This is a complete mess. I've got paperwork everywhere, and that's fine. This is the mixing desk, which is the PreSonus Studio Live 32SC mixing console. it is, if I take the keyboard off of there, look, you can see that pretty clearly. And we go to home, utilities. You've seen the Mardi Gras thing, haven't you? What this does is does a test of all of the faders, the switches, the lights on it, the LEDs. And it goes through a stepping process like that. So it checks every single lamp on the buttons and the colors. It checks the faders, make sure they're working and nice and smooth. This is just a utility on the Studio Live 32 SC from PreSonus. Hello to you if you're a new subscriber, by the way. Subscriber count's gone up this week, so thank you so much for that. It's great that you're supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do so. Click the bell icon as well. That'll let you know when we're going live here next. Normally, generally every Monday at 8 p.m. And of course, now we're in British summertime. It's BST. So that's pretty cool. You get the hang of that. Anyway, there we go. Back to normal. And my keyboard back up there. Oops. Yeah, so Danny Davis says you can share if you wish. Share what? I have no clue what you're on about, mate. Sorry. UA ding. UA ding. Ding. Oh, UA. UA ding. I have no idea what that means. But thanks anyway. There we go. Okay, so yeah, as regards audio, warning: the stream's current bitrate 2,362.38 kilobits is lower than the recommended bitrate. I'm streaming to you at 1080p and 60 frames a second. I'll have you know, Facebook, or not Facebook, but YouTube. Thank you. The picture on Messenger. Yeah, I'm not diving into that right now, Danny. I'm in the middle of a show, so absolutely brilliant. Right. Let's have a look here. So my stream, I'll tell you what it is, right? Number 2. And this is, no, I can't see it. It's actually active and I can't tell you what it is. It's all grayed out. It won't let me do anything. Save and close. That's fine. Let me refresh that and see what happens. No, still won't do it. Okay, that's fine. Okay, fine. See if I care. Okay, we've got through some messages here. That's fine. So yeah, John Venturini in the house, very sore after his run. Rich Vibes, of course, looking after things backstage. Excellent, sir. Thank you. Ina's in from Denmark. Good evening, Ina. Hope you're well. Hope everything's okay at your end. Danny Davis in from Essex in the UK. And John Venturini, which is cool. There we go. All right. Yeah, so audio production wise, if you have any issues, like say for instance you've got an issue with sound, you've watched your live streams back and they're not particularly brilliant as regards to sound quality and stuff like that. You can find me an email, by the way, anytime, and describe the symptoms that you're going through, describe the setup that you've got. And I'll try and kind of analyze that for you. So email hello@loveaudio.co.uk anytime, and we'll be able to look at that for you. Yeah, so as regards my setup here, I'm using the Behringer C1 microphone, which I think is great. I'm really liking that, by the way, which is cool. I hope you like the sound of it as well. I've got the speakers on very slightly so I could hear the background music and stuff, which is good. But it's a Behringer C1 condenser mic for studio use. Really, really affordable. And you can find them on my Love Audio Bits website, loveaudiobits.co.uk. Okay? And yeah, happy to help with that if I can. So that's pretty cool. The other website, of course, is loveaudio.co.uk. Visit that anytime if you want. Send me a message via that. And if you want the merchandise, by the way, t-shirts, mugs, then get over to loveaudiosmerchstore.com and you'll find that. John Venturini is saying, let me just take a quick look at that. John says, I truly feel I can run a marathon now. I have the marathon in Portland, Oregon booked. That's on October 2nd. Wow. So what kind of training, John, I'm interested. What kind of training do you have to do in order to get fit for that? You've done the half marathon. I appreciate that. And that's today. But what kind of training will you have to do between now and October in order to up your game to the full marathon length and the stamina, etc., that's needed in order to complete that marathon in October? Do let me know. And you know, I know that you're keen on you know, sorting out diet and things like that. So is there anything you need to change as regards getting plenty of carbohydrates inside you, or plenty of protein, all that kind of thing? What's involved with that? I'd love to know. John says running 30 to 40 miles per week, 1 long run, 2 training runs, 1 tempo run. Wow. You've really got that nailed down, haven't you? You've got that kind of that fire in your belly now, and you really want to get it done, don't you? That's cool. Strength training 3 to 4 times a week. Wow, you're going to be like superhuman by the end of this, aren't you? That's amazing. Wow. Strength training 3 to 4 times a week. It sounds more technical than it is, but I know that you've obviously got your head around it, and you've done your research on that, so that's cool. Mind if I just I don't want this to go cold, you know what I mean? It's like, it's only some French fries and some fish fingers and beans and some bread. Not really good for you, but I don't want it to go cold. John's saying, I also spin brackets cycle 2 to 4 times per week. Yeah, you know what? I admire you, because that's a lot more involved than I'm capable of. You know what I mean? You know, I walk places, but I haven't run for ages. I have a heart condition, and the tablets that I'm on to counteract that make me dizzy and lightheaded when I exert. So when I'm running from, let's say, the car to the flat, I have to steady myself because I can feel myself ready to black out. Does that make sense? I've told my doctor about it, but you know, they seem to think that it's because it's what the tablets are doing is lowering my blood pressure, and to such a level that there's not enough you know, blood getting to, or oxygenated blood getting to the brain, right? So it kind of feels like I'm about to tip over. So I have to steady myself on several occasions when running to and from the car to the flat or whatever, you know, or wherever it might be. John says the key is always listening to your body. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. And no doubt, I've no doubt about it, that if I began training and I did it lightly, John, I think I could probably attempt it. Back in 2000 and, wait a minute, I'm trying to think of when this was. I think it's 2002. 2002. I did a 10K, so 7 point whatever it is miles, 10-kilometer run around London in the blistering heat of July of 2002. Did it for charity. Obviously, it's not a half marathon. I appreciate the work you've done is far better than that. But I felt great during that. I trained beforehand, and yeah, so, but I only developed this kind of heart condition 2012, 2013, maybe 2014. So, you know, this has all come on since, but yeah. It's interesting, isn't it, how your body reacts over the years. But yeah, I would love to be able to do stuff like that. So I guess if I did it gently, did it, you know, carefully, 10K is a good test. Yeah, 6.22 miles. Yeah, and you know, I guess if I trained properly, I could probably do that again. But I'm just I'm just worried that that I could overdo it and make myself really ill. You know, I'd need to consult with a physician first and say, look, I'm thinking of doing this. What are the chances? What do you think I should do? Do you think I'll be able to cope with it, or do you think it's going to be too much for my body to take? What what kind of level of activity do you think I should start with and build up to? You know, I used to go to the gym 3 times a week, and I don't do that anymore. And I guess if I'd kept that up, then yeah, you know, I'd be good for another 10K, be good for maybe a half marathon like you've done, John. But I just think, you know, if you're out of it for so long, getting back into it is a real, I don't know, real test, I guess. So I do admire you, know, I admire the work you're doing for this charity. It's fantastic. He says, munching on carbs. Tell you what, because nobody's got any questions with regards to audio production. So I'm going to play some Epidemic sound for you in the background. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just log in. Where are we? Genres. A little bit helps. Always look for a gradual increase on the month over month. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, let's go with some R&B and soul. Let me know if this is too loud, guys. All right. Maybe not. Okay. So yeah, we're just going to hang out and chat then for a change. We don't do that enough, do we? You know, we don't do that anywhere near enough here. So let's just drop that volume down. How's that sound? Is that okay? You guys can still hear me? It's 8:30 now. Let's chat for another half an hour. Anything you want. Open floor, within reason. Just don't make it about alopecia or Jaden Pinkett Smith. We've done that already. 10,000 steps have been a good metric for me as far as daily movement. Yeah, you see, I'm on a 6,000 step target. And very often if I'm out on the road delivering, I do exceed that, which is great. But 10,000, I think, would, well, not be pushing it, but certainly that would be a good benchmark to attain, you know, to kind of reach or to go after. Let me know if that volume's all right, guys, all right? We're just hanging out, we're just chatting tonight. Doesn't have to be necessarily about audio production, but that's what I do. KJEM, new subscriber to the channel. Please give them a nice big round of applause. Thank you so much. And a very warm welcome to you. KJEM Productions. Hey all, unboxed my Studio Live 32SC 2 days ago. Trying to learn the routing so I can record all my inputs to the SD card and the main mix. Wow. That's amazing. Congratulations. Fantastic. So good you've got that model of desk now. As you can see, this is mine right here with the setup. The inputs I can probably show you, so just give me 2 seconds while I bring those up. If I go to home, audio routing, digital patching. Let me just show you what we've got here. I'm going to bring my camera over. Give me 2 secs. Okay, here we go. Following the same steps right now. Thank you. No problem at all. Here we go. Watch. Gotta love the physical phones to take calls. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, this is the business phone. So, Tie the Knot Music, Love Audio Production, Love Audio Bits all comes through this phone via an IVR. Got a house phone back there through there. Can't see that through there. But anyway, back to the plot. So, KJEM Productions. This is the routing setup I've got here right now. Okay. So digital patching. You've got input sources 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. You'll notice that channel 1 and channel 2 it's got a computer icon there, okay? And that's because that's coming back from the computer. So channel 1 and 2 is my computer return. The USB send, I've got 3 and 4. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. So channel 2, channel 3 is an analog input. That's the little 3 dots in that circle. And we'll scroll down. Hang on a second. Can you guys hear me all right? I'm going to scroll down here. All right, so we've got some tape in. We've got USB tape in, left and right. There's the 32 channels. Look, see, so most of those are computer. And some of those are auxiliary. Sorry, I beg your pardon. They are XLR inputs on the back of the mixer. So channels 13 through 16. Robert from Shalalala Productions says, out of curiosity, Paul, your setup, do you deal with syncing issues? And when, oh, hang on, let me bring that back up. And when you do you often delay the audio signal of frame rates when making the adjustments? You know what? No, I don't. I don't have any issues with syncing. So I just want to show KJEM Productions where my my sends are going, okay? So mix 7 and 8, those are the channels that I'm sending you. That's a little loud actually. So so yeah, so mix 7 and 8 are exactly what I'm sending you here. So in other words, back on the desk, if you think of this like an earphone mix 7 and 8 is the one that's illuminated right here. So anything coming up these faders are now going to mix 7 and 8, which is the computer. If I turn the volume down of the sound, like that, that's the computer coming back in. So you won't hear any music playing now, because that's a separate mix to this one, which is the main mix. Watch. So the main mix has got the computer coming in and my microphone, which is fine. But on the submix 7 and 8, it only has the main microphone coming in. And I can adjust the volume of that. So if I fade that down, fade that down, fade that down, you can hear that fading out, right? So whatever you send to mix 7 and 8 through the mixing console and through the routing over there will end up going to your live stream or whatever you're sending it to. Maybe a headphone mix. And don't forget, you can choose between aux, sub, and matrix mixes when looking at all of these. So you've got 16 possible mixes here, or 8 stereo pairs. Okay, that's very important. These are your effects buses down here. And then you've got your main mix button there, which returns you to the main mix, obviously. But I'm using the user button. The user button means that you can allocate channels to the first few buttons to save you scrolling through the buttons every time to try and find the right faders. Here I've got my Denon DJ mixer, channels 13 and 14 coming up on that one. I've got the desk mic, which is the one you're listening to, coming up on 9. I've got the booth mic, which is behind the screens there. That's coming up on 5. Spare is 10 if I want to plug a spare microphone in. Tape is the computer coming back to me. 11 and 12 is the DAW stereo pair coming back through. And then my lav mic, which is over there, this one, is coming up on channel 15. And that's all I use as a main production. So, yeah, I hope that helps. Look at my tripod on a thing. You can see that. Pretty cool. Okay, let me put that here. All right, that's good. So yeah, that's the setup currently. Bring that volume back in. Thanks so much. So on mix 1, I can essentially set all the individual analog inputs from the main mix to record without playback through the outputs. Yeah, that is a good that's a good question. Mix 1. So on mix 1, so if in other words you're using mix 1 and 2, you can set all the individual analog inputs from the main mix to record. Yes, without playing back through the outputs. Yeah. So I've not tried to record through the SD card yet. That's one thing I confess I have not done yet. So maybe we'll try that on a future stream. So we'll set up because this will be live performance with full bands. Yeah. So I've not tried that. And so like I say, it might be something that we do on a future stream whereby we set up a mix and we try and record it through the SD card, but not necessarily coming out of the main mix. So that would be pretty cool. I hope that kind of, it doesn't really answer your question. I my apologies, because like I say, I haven't really tried that. But with regards to the live recording on SD, apparently it's very cool and very easy to do. That would be awesome if we can do it again in a future stream. I think that's a really, really good idea. And let me try and set that up for next week, next Monday night. All right? Let me try and set that up. I'm going to write a note of that now. So audio recording via SD card on the Studio Live 32 SC. Let me work on that through the week. KJEM Productions. And like I say, thank you so much for being a new subscriber. Really good to have you along. And I'm glad you managed to get your audio sorted out with regards to your phone. That was great. Thanks for that. And hopefully that'll help. I don't know when you're going to be using that, KJEM. If you're going to be using it before next Monday, will you drop us a line and let us know how you get on with it? Or failing that, tune in next Monday and we'll go through that and see if we can do it, as a kind of collaboration, if you like, with regards to that being the subject. That'll be really cool. Because like I say, I've never tried. I tell a lie. I have tried it. Let me think. Hang on a second. EQ, tape, sound check, live recording, sound check. What does that do? There is no software control currently selected or connected. Proceed to the UCNet page. Select the software control. Right. Okay. And it gives you a link on the screen. Yeah, I've got control network and I've got transport control. Okay, so I can switch it between software control and SD card in the transport controls, right? So if I go to SD card, interesting, sound check, me area 51-2. So that's interesting because I've got a session. Please wait, do not remove SD card. I've got to show you this, hang on. I know we're going to try and attempt this next week, but I want to show you that I've actually tried something already.
he's all you see. Tell him you got his keys, 'cause you thought he needed back. Oh, he's gone, leaving then. You won't see him again. Convenient, me staying friends. You know that, sweetie, you know that. You knew it before, but you just ignored that. So now you won't take back. There's no refunds here. You sorta hurt. It makes you a secret. You were just lost. You were just lost. But now you're found, and you realize he wasn't at all like what you created in your mind. He wasn't even nice. You wasted all your time. You didn't even like him in real life. He said he thought it would be nice if we went for a ride in his dad's Jaguar. Swept up in the moment, sitting in his car. You know he won't take it. And you know that, sweetie, you know that. You knew it before, but you just ignored that. Now you won't take back. There's no refunds here. You sorta hurt. It makes you a secret.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me now? Yes. Good. We're back. Okay. For some reason, something I pressed when it was in the SD section reset all of my inputs to come out to go to the SD card instead. So yeah, I don't know what happened there, guys. That's really interesting. Wow, I've got to watch that. So I'm going to have to go back and check all of that digital patching to make sure that it's correctly assigned to all of the channels that I've got coming in. So I know for a fact that 13 should be analog, 13 and 14. My lav mic is 15, so I'm definitely going to have that as a thingy input. 11 and 12 is the DAW out. Now that's got to be computer, so that's fine. Yeah, that's a really good thing. So I'm glad I managed to figure that out. Spare is on 10, so that's going to be an analog input. My desk mic is 9, as I've just mentioned, which you can hear me on that now. Channel 5 is the booth mic, so let's get that on an analog channel as well. And then, like I say, channel 1 and 2 is the computer, as far as I know, coming back in. So hopefully that's back to normal. Wow. Okay. That's pretty interesting. So the good thing about that is that you can do those kind of routing things on the fly to get them back to where you need to get them. But I don't know why it would have swapped everything to the SD card, because I didn't ask it to. I didn't press reset or anything like that. It just seemed to want to throw everything towards the SD card. Now, if you're going to do recording, and obviously I'll test this ahead of next week when we do the recording session, but yeah, I guess if you're going to want to do recording to the SD card on board the Studio Live 32SC, then you're going to need to know where that stuff gets routed. Do you know what I mean? So, wow. that was a big learning curve there, right? Woo! That was nearly a disaster. So, yeah, I'm glad we kind of figured that out together. And hopefully you can hear me now, which is cool. Because what it meant was that although I was kind of speaking into the microphone, the only thing that would be hearing it, that's interesting, because the only thing that would be hearing it in that case would have been the SD card. So therefore the recording, maybe because I recorded that session and the previous microphone setting was only going to the SD card. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, exactly. The routing is the main part I'm struggling with. We can hear. Brilliant. Yeah, so thank you, KJEM Productions. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? If you've taken a look at the manual, it's like this thick, isn't it? And you know, you could go on and on. Especially when it comes to routing. And the good thing about that is that the routing inside it is really powerful. And so if you've got things like you're sending stuff to stage, you're sending stuff down an AVB line, perhaps, I don't know, to the main stage or whatever it might be. Again, you can choose those kind of settings and then save that as a preset on the mixing desk itself. But that's way above my pay grade, and it's one of those things I need to get my head around, right? But it's something that we're going to work through together. This channel's all about audio production for beginners, and I include myself in that section. So, we're going to learn together. It's fine. And I'm glad that you brought up the subject, because that really makes me curious as to how that's going to work. And if I can figure it out by next week, then brilliant. That's what I'll do. And you'll notice the thumbnail go up, and I'll schedule that for next Monday at 8 p.m. KJEM Productions. Let us know where you are, by the way. I'm not quite sure where you are in the world, but do let me know. I love the Wayne's World icon on your your thing there. It's brilliant. Fort Worth, Texas. Brilliant. I visited Fort Worth back in 2015, 2016. I'm just going to drop the Epidemic Sound music. A library scientist for my day job. Wow, that's cool. Brilliant. Hey, listen. Yeah, I went to Dallas, Texas, and we visited Dallas. We visited the Fort Worth stockyards and all that kind of stuff. And this particular jingle came from Jam Creative Productions in Dallas. So that was cool. I have another jingle as well. I just can't call it up right now. But yeah, really good fun. Managed to sit in and watch the guys sing the jingle as well. And yeah, so good. Fort Worth, Texas. Brilliant. Really good to have you along, KJEM. Thank you so much for joining us. Robert from Shalalala Productions, thanks again for the info, Paul. Had to head out, but be sure to catch the rest on replay. Excellent. Thank you, Robert. Wait a second. Thanks so much for joining. That's great news. Fantastic stuff. Good. Okay. I'm just trying to catch up, make sure we've got all the other questions kind of answered. Brilliant. I love the physical phones to take phone calls. Good stuff. Yeah, KGEM. So cool. Glad to be learning here. Thanks for the welcome. You are most welcome. Absolutely. And, do spread the word as well. Share if you can. If you have any other fellow students, people that, looking to kind of learn the audio production stages, especially now you've got this new mixing desk. And if you've got people working with you that want to know how to work it as well, then, get them on board, get them tuned into the channel, and we'll try and do some stuff for you. And, I'm more than happy for you to drop me an email at any time. It's hello@loveaudio.co.uk. That will get straight to my inbox, and I can answer any questions you've got about audio on a one-to-one basis, which is cool. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to finish my my now cold dinner, lunch, tea, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, look forward to joining you next week. And as I say, it sounds like our subject next week will be audio recording via the inbuilt SD card on the Studio Live 32SC digital console from PreSonus. All right. So without further ado, let me just give you a couple of things that you can do. You can go on to patreon.com/Love Audio Production. I'd love you to be a patron on there. But if you don't want to be a patron, that's absolutely fine. It's your choice, of course. But you can download a free PDF of podcasting for beginners on there, and you'll find all the kind of information and things that you need to set up a podcasting course or whatever you're doing, all right? So that's on patreon.com/Love Audio Production. Like I say, subscribe to the channel if you've not already done so. I know that you have, KGM, so thank you very much indeed for that, and most of the people watching tonight have. If you are watching the replay and you've not subscribed, again, do so. Click that bell icon as well. That'll let you know when we're going live next, which is cool. And yeah, if you want to take a look at the website, again, that's loveaudio.co.uk. Find out what I'm about. Mainly voiceover work, so a lot of stuff for the spoken word. And that's my main kind of focus, really. It's not necessarily musical. So it's about the spoken word generally. And yeah, it'd be great to hear from you. Great to see you on there as well. Merch you can get. You want to tell everybody you love audio, get yourself over to loveaudiosmerchstore.com and you'll find the merchandise on there. It's from Teespring, or it's now called Spring. So you'll find that at loveaudiosmerchstore.com. All right. Good stuff. Okay. All right. I think that's about it. Again, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you next week at 8 p.m. UK time. That's British summertime, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific. All right. Take care. See you soon. This jingle as well, KGEM. This is the full-length version of that jingle you heard earlier. All right.
Love Audio.